Alright everyone, welcome. If you're not here, oh well, that's why it's recorded. We're going to be going over just some real simple crap today on how to draw support and resist. If a lot of people, that's one of the biggest questions I get. So I'm going to attempt to show an easy way to draw it, and then we're going to cover hourly candles on your 5-minute charts or whatever chart you want to put on. The hourly candles I'm referring to are these red and green. This is an hourly candle on a 5-minute chart. So let's get started with the support and resist first. One of the hardest things some people have issues with is identifying support and resist. So one of the things you can do, and this is right after NFP, so I'm going to zoom out one. You can come up here, and we're going to switch to a line chart. Now by looking at a line chart, it lets you, in my opinion, it lets you identify support and resist real easy. We can look across here, and when you draw these, you don't have to be exact. I kind of go to the middle ground. I'm looking at this peak, and I'm taking the middle of it. If I want to draw another one, we have another one down here, and we'll switch back to normal candles in a little bit and take a look at how these actually correspond. This was right before NFP, but we had one here, and we also have one up here. Now, that easy, a lot of people, when they have candles on the screen, they can't visualize that. So if we take a look, and we'll run through a couple charts. Again, this is open. If you have a question, just type it in. Once I'm all done, I can turn on the mics for you if you want. For some reason, we had an issue with it last time. But if we go back to candlesticks now, it was really that easy to draw the support and resist for the chart. So it's something as simple as that, where you can. It took me all of, 30 seconds to figure out where support and resist was here for this chart. We'll go to another one. This is Euro. Let's see if we can find something that looks a bit funky. That one looks like hell. Let's go with AUD USD. So I'm going to switch to a blank template real quick. And we'll zoom out again. And again, it's as simple. Up here, you have 3 buttons. You have bar chart, candlestick, and line chart. Real simple then. Again, if we're looking for support and resist, we just look for peaks and valleys line up. And we kind of get one here because we get a valley, and some more valleys there. If we're looking across, one of the easiest ways you can do this to see them is either grab the bar, or here we have 2 peaks. So you can either use the crosshairs or just hold the mouse down and drag it to where you want. Another easy one. If we look back here, we have a little area of interest. Now remember, you can take a look at these ones that are way back here, because what happens is when price comes back down to this area, it does remember that there's a support and resist out here. So it's really, like I said, this is going to be a quick one, but it is something that I guess a lot of people overlook, and they just really don't know about using a line chart. At 2 to 3, it really doesn't matter. If I can get 2, that's great. If I can get 3 or 4 lined up, that's good. And again, I'm not doing them exact. I'm kind of taking the middle ground on some of them in order to create them. Let's look at this one. And if you have any questions on where I drew them. See, like up here, we have a peak. And then it gets a little bit messier. See, so we have one peak, and I'll show you where I'm looking at. I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at this one. But I see one here too. So this one. So now my line is slightly above. So what I do, and all this is remember, we're just identifying spots where orders may be sitting. You can drop it down a little bit, so it's a little bit below that peak, a little bit below that peak, and a little bit above that peak. But that gets me 3. So the same thing again down here. And what am I looking at on this one? I'm looking at this peak, this valley, and that valley. Down here we got a few more. And you can zoom out as far as you need be to see what you're drawing on. But, I mean, concept's pretty simple. If you don't get that, probably shouldn't be trading. Not being a dick when I say that, but it's a very easy concept. Just a lot of people, they don't see the purpose of line charts. I would not trade off a line chart, but I do draw support and resist off them. And a lot of times if I'm looking at a trade, like if I'm looking this way, and I can't spot, if I see prices reacting to a level like 3 times here, but I couldn't see it clearly, one of the easiest thing I can do is just switch to a line chart real quick and then flip back to the candles, and it'll let me spot it very easily. So that pretty much covers drawing support and resist with the lines. We'll move on to the hourly candles next. Any questions on support and resist with a line chart? You know how to get to one, you know how to draw them, you're matching up peaks and troughs. It's really that simple. And if you look at it, if you were trading like overbought, oversold, that's 1, 2, 3 trades just by drawing a support and resist. So basically all you'd have to do is throw value charts on this shit and go to town. Yeah, go for it. Again, guys, ask questions. If you don't know, ask. Otherwise, you're not going to learn shit. RSI. We're on a 5-minute time frame. What period do you want it at? Levels. 80-20. Now, like, you want... We got 1, 2, 3 there. A little bit below it, we could have... And... What, it's Romar. What he said is you can draw support and resist on it. Let me go into RSI real quick and change the color so you can see what I'm doing, because the 80-20 is there. Let me change the color so you see where 80-20 is. You can do the, like he's pointing out, you can do the same thing with RSI or any other type of oscillator to look at things like that. So I mean, there it is with RSI too. So if we come and take a look, by the support and resist, it breached there and it breached up top. So you kind of just created your own, I guess you could say, confluence there. We actually have one here too, where it breached up higher than 80. But you can kind of see it. Basically, what it does when you do that with RSI, it takes the current market conditions with RSI, because if we're getting it bouncing here, the 80 level really isn't appropriate. You'd want to be paying attention to lower than 80. But it lets you see the pattern forming. Okay, so RSI was a bonus on that one. Did everyone get what we just did? And how it kind of makes it easy to look at potential trades? Because if you look at this one, this candle here was a broke higher, but the next candle hit on both sides. It hit support and resist. So it hit support and resist on RSI, and it hit support and resist on our chart. So it's something as simple as that. Some people make it really overcomplicated when you're trading. It can be something as simple as this. The next thing you want to take a look at, and I guess since we're looking at this chart, we have the hourly here. Price came out of the hourly too, so that is kind of another confirmation. Let me reload the template and we'll take a look at the hourlies and how I use that. God, I'm burping all over the place. I'm going to zoom out a bit so we can see the hourly. So the hourly indicator, and let's go through the indicator first. I put the link there. It's called M Candles. Let me see if I still have it in my clipboard. That's the download to M Candles. It is a very simple indicator. All you do is when you open it up, the TF bar, this is your time frame. So if you wanted a 4-hour candle, you just click OK and close. Now we're looking at 4-hour candles. It lets you identify, because some people don't like to draw support and resist, or they don't like the indicators that do it. Most indicators draw off wicks. There's a couple that I've posted that draw off candlesticks, but the hourly indicator will let you draw support and resist very nicely. For me, I can just see it visually so much easier when I have the hour candles on here, and it gives you a good clear picture of when price breaks out of the current hourly range, which is usually if you wait for it to go overbought, oversold, you can line up a trade with it. Let's flip back to the hourly real quick, just so you know how to use it. So that's where you change the time frame. You can put 30 minutes in there, 15, whatever you want. It will draw that size candle on your chart. So if we're looking for hourly, you can draw support and resist off hourly. Like right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hourly candles that lined up. Down here, we have 3 hours of support below it. And notice I don't use the wicks when I'm drawing support and resist. Support and resist is drawn off the candle, not off the wicks. The wicks are there to tell you the story. They're not there for you to draw support and resist off of, if that makes sense for you. And again, like, we'll draw some, then I'll zoom in on a little bit. So we have another one here. And got one up here. And by using wicks are reliable on 5 minutes, the only thing I use wicks for is when I draw a trend line, for the most part. If it is support and resist, I want to see candlestick body only. For a trend line, I'll use wicks, but for support and resist, I'll stick mostly to just the body. So we can zoom in a little bit and see how prices reacted here. So this was all off hourly. So it kind of, I mean, not as clear, but down here you can see where price is holding here, and then off the 5 minute we'd get a support and resist here, because if we went to the line charts, we can see it clearly right here. So it's just a simple way to draw support and resist. One of the other things you can do, and I'll throw this up too. Let me reload template real quick, and I'll show you what I do. Wicks are reliable on 5 minute, but for exhaustions, rejections, continuations as well. Wicks, I don't have the video on hand right now, but there's I posted it in one of the other chat rooms. For me, wicks are just there to tell me what's going on. It's the strength of the bulls and the bears on the candle, because it can tell you what's going on with it. And then actually visually seeing how the candle moves, there comes in your price action, because price action is exactly what it says. It's you watching how the candle moves and reacts to the market. Because I could look at like this candle here, and I wouldn't have a clue on how it actually reacted when it hit this level. It might have sat down here and then at the last 30 seconds jumped up to there. So by seeing the price action of it, that would have told me a lot more than just looking back at a static chart with a picture. Last thing I'm going to go over, and this is, so if you're drawing your own support and resist lines, all that is something on your chart. You want to get alerted to it, and I've shown this one before, but let's go to, let me find it, alerter. Okay, so this one, all you have to do is have this on the chart. There's nothing to type in, nothing to put in. You just throw it on the chart. On the chart now when I draw support and resist, I'm not going to do anything different, and I'll throw the link up to this indicator too. If I draw this support and resist, actually let's move it up here and see if we can get it to pop. You go into the properties when you draw it, and in the description, not the name, in the description you put ALERT underscore the number sign, and you can put whatever number you want in there. If price hits that now, I will get an alert. So I with my group I share it a lot, but it's something that I think can be used for anyone, because drawing a support and resist on the chart is not going to get you to the chart if price hits it. So if you're looking at multiple pairs, you're never going to get an alert, and you'll never know that your price level was hit. So again, it's really simple. You put the indicator, it's called alerter, on the chart, and then you draw your line. Go into the properties of the line, and alert underscore pound and your number. It could be 222. It doesn't matter. Give me a sec. Any questions on any of those? I'll show that one for Monday. That way I can have a chance to look through it and I don't bullshit out my ass what I'm looking at. Other than that, any questions on, we had how to draw it off 5 minutes with the line charts, how to use the hourly candles, and since you're going to be drawing support and resist, or hopefully you are now. Yeah. This one will say here, as you can see, price hit it and came back up. It says it's a trap, AUD, JPY. So it alerted when it hit it. So there's what the alert looks like when it pops. So really nice, because if you do draw support and resist, I highly recommend getting in the habit of it. Support and resist are going to be one of your strongest. You can do it with trend lines too. So if you draw a trend line, I'm not going to do this proper. All you have to do is go into the trend line, go into the trend line properties, and the same thing. Alert underscore the number sign and 5. Now, if price hits it, which it's above it, you get an alert. It's really that simple. If anyone wants to try it, I don't know if it works with other shapes. I know it works with lines and trend lines. I don't know if it'll work on shapes or anything else, but it makes life a lot easier. I mean, it's really, really simple. So other than that, we got any questions or anything? This was a pretty much a real simple walkthrough of just some of the things you can do to get support and resist on there if you're not good at it. It will allow you to draw them. Yes, I am recording this, and I will post it into... I typically post all my stuff up on... Yeah, there's also auto support and resist trendline indies, but honestly, I think if you don't... My biggest thing is if you have something drawing it on your chart and you don't understand why it's on your chart, it might as well not be on your chart. I just don't see the point of having an indicator on the chart if you don't understand how it works or where it got that line from. Because if you have a line on the chart, and let's say it's a weak support and resist, if you don't know how to draw them, then what the hell's the point of you having it on your chart? If you have like RSI on your chart and you don't know what RSI is for, it shouldn't be on your chart. Learn what's on your chart and how to use it. It's as simple as that. Other than that, guys, any questions, anything else? And see, there was the trend line popped. It's a trap. So now you can have trend lines and support and resist lines that give you alerts. It's pretty simple. Nice and quick. Oh, what was I going to say? Yes, I will record this. I post almost all my videos over here on binaryoptions.net because I'm a moderator there, so if I get idiots on it... Here, I'll post the link to the website because I have to upload it first. It's all on my YouTube channel too, but that's the website where I post most of my stuff to, and I don't have my YouTube channel handy, but just go there, look for my post. It'll be up in about 30-45 minutes because my internet sucks butt. And then you can go from there to my YouTube channel. I have a ton of help, like just basically they're all free videos on how to trade, getting into binary options, simple things like that. But from this PA, also take trades without institutional levels. Support and resist, depending on how you look at it, can be considered an institutional level. If I am trading off a 5-minute chart, my support and resist, I wouldn't really consider that institutional. A 5-minute support and resist, I would consider it more along the lines of current market conditions. Now, if I'm drawing a support and resist off a 1-hour candle or a 4-hour candle, that's a much stronger support and resist, and I would look at more along the lines as that could be considered an institutional trading level. Because most institutional traders, banks, hedge funds, things like that, they're either doing high frequency trading, which it can't even be charted because that's like hundreds of trades a second, or they're most likely on a longer term chart like an hourly or a 4-hour. Does that kind of answer your question? 5-minute support and resist, great, but not the strongest. That's why I like the 1-hour candles, because I can draw 1-hour support and resist, or at least see it. After a while, you don't even have to draw this crap anymore. You'll just visualize it. Especially when you have like this indicator up, you can visualize, here's a support and resist, here's an hourly support and resist, down here we have some more. It's pretty easy. Trying to think. If there's anything else, guys, the website I posted, you always can contact me there or on Skype, whatever. But other than that, that kind of wraps it up. It was just a real quick tutorial. I do requests, like Norman asks, he asked about my pre-trading prep routine. So I'll be covering that on Monday. Again, I will be on vacation next week. My daughter's off for spring break, and she's 5, so that's going to take up most of my time. But if you have requests, you can always request if you want some information on, I don't know, like RSI, CCI, whatever. Just ask. Okay, before I hit end, any questions or anything? All right, cool. Y'all